They went into like our cabin when we were gone, and they spat. I think it was. They like spat all over Tanner's pillowcase. And my dad was like, no. You can like mess with someone, but you can't spit on all over pillowcase. Like what the?
That's too
What is
far.
wrong with you?
How dare you?
Welcome to the Spencer Whiteout podcast. Rated R.
It's like we're avoiding the shark.
No, great turbo neck guy.
I'll give you a kiss. You give me your number.
That checked out a ton, dude. Tell me you felt.
We're Americans. We're the ones that are descendants from the 1776 musket-bearing motherfuckers.
Welcome to the Spencer Whiteout podcast, where we collect experiences as badges, memories as treasures, and stories as wealth. In episode 61, we discuss the secrets of Spirit Week, the sinister saliva of science camp, a hardcore headlock, a first kiss redo, corn dogs and milk. So buckle up and say your prayers.
Disclaimer. You've been disclaimed.
All mentions of Luke at science camp are referring to Luke Jordan, not Luke Reed, the son of Wolfpack legend Pistol Reed. And with that, let's dive in.
Welcome to the Spencer Whiteout podcast. Rated R. For sex.
Okay, so today we have Luke Reed.
Hello.
And we have Jason Foster.
Hello.
So I am so excited to have these guests on here today because y'all already know Luke Reed, legend of the podcast, but Jason and I, we all go way back, and Jason has not been on the podcast yet, so this is very exciting. He actually lives out in Virginia, but now we're getting together to do this podcast.
The land of Lincoln.
So it's been a long time coming, man. Thanks for being on the podcast, Jason.
Happy to be here. Yeah, long time listener, first time caller.
There we go. So we're going to kind of logically progress through the timeline. Jason, Luke, and I, we all went to Forest Lake Christian School. Luke and I were teachers' kids. Jason lived right across the street from the school, walking distance. So naturally, he kind of hung around the school. Yeah, and loitered with us. Because we were just stuck at school. You know, Luke and I are like, what are we going to do? You know,
how are we going to get into some trouble?
I know.
He would facilitate this.
I want to get into the trouble that we're going to talk about with the tennis balls and the poop. But first, we got to talk about the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack.
Harmonic reinforcement?
Go on, Jason, because this is big. I feel like this was like a formative time in our lives.
I definitely would agree.
What do you remember about that?
Brother got the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack on CD, and I'm like, oh, this is my first introduction to music. What is this? And for some reason, I was just trying to connect with that inner emotion. I'm like, yeah,
the Peter Parker
this is incredible.
angst.
So much angst.
Classic teen angst.
Vindicated, Dashboard Confessional, Gifts and Curses by Yellow Card, and Photograph by Taking Back Sunday. Those were like the trinity of songs on that CD, and we just repeated it. We had our like CD player, and we would just like repeat it on a CD player.
The CD player. Eventually, we got those cheap MP3 players. Yeah, man.
This was back when we were still doing sleepovers. We later evolved into beanovers, which we're going to get to later.
That's right.
We escalated
to beanovers. But there was also a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! On the Game Boy, a lot of Star Wars Battlefront. I feel like Bespin Cloud City was the best map.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you agree with that?
It was definitely up there, yeah.
Yeah, because you could use the Droidekas to roll down the corridor the fastest, and you could capture the command posts way faster than the clones could walk.
I'll go with you on that one.
Trust me.
Okay, quick question for you, though. Why are there no droids on Tinder?
Yes, dude. What? Why are there no droids on Tinder?
Jason, why?
Why?
Because there's no match for Droidekas.
Very nice.
Okay, Jason, this is not on your outline because I want to see if you remember this. The bus yard vandalism. Do you remember?
I was conflicted about that.
Yeah, you do remember this.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
Well, it was
You're
like my party
influence.
trick as a kid was like, oh, I can take kids over to the school and I'll be like, oh, you've never seen this before, but there's this hidden area where they throw all the trash and there's these old
buses and broken
dilapidated
down
buses, and you could go on there, and like there were a few people I took there that'd be like, oh wow, and then they just start like breaking stuff, like cracking windows and everything. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? Like
For some reason, something in the air.
but it's
made
not your
just
junk.
brutal.
By that point, you were the one showing me that. You know how
Yeah.
people kind of transfer trauma? Like, you were like,
What are you doing? Why are you breaking all the windows?
Right.
then that was me when you were like,
Spencer, watch this.
and you're just like breaking all these windows over and over again.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, but
That you raged like that,
Yeah,
Jason.
breaking windows. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
because my memory of you, memory of you as if you're deceased, but you'd be
great
you're
eulogy,
just
thank
very
you.
chill, punctuated by massive aggression. Episodes of massive aggression.
There's plenty of anger right now. How can you have more?
Just every once in a while, you'd just be
You
like,
just
you know what?
lose it.
I would
Yeah,
agree.
I need
and
to
the
destroy the bus.
yeah, and the other thing too, I remember is you were beating the tennis ball. Not the tennis ball, the tether ball. You would beat the tether ball
yes.
until your knuckles bled.
Yeah, man, it was
And I
bloody
was
knuckles.
Like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah, I didn't understand why everyone else thought I was a psycho.
I simply am not there.
And now I understand.
So that's a
I mean,
little
it
bit of
was
background
fun
on
episodes
Jason.
of
But Luke, tell him
aggression
about
toward
the
inanimate objects.
Let's talk about the tennis balls we would find around campus.
tennis balls we'd find around campus.
Yeah, that was like an Easter egg. It was like, oh, we found a tennis ball. You know?
Oh yeah,
And then we'd
yeah.
kind of-
Occasionally, people would knock one out of the park,
And then we'd
Out of-
find,
and then,
Free toys, man.
and then you'd
Little
find
mounds
them
of
here
poop,
and there.
and then we'd kind of
The deer poop, right?
yeah, and then we'd like dip. I feel like we did this a lot, didn't we? We would dip the tennis
know if it's
ball.
a
It was
lot.
like
in the poop.
building a weapon. You know, we're like, you could really do some damage with these balls.
But
And then,
people,
but then
yeah.
to add to that, if you also found poop,
right.
the logical thing for somebody that age of 13 years old.
Just mix it. Like you're used to mixing
pubescent
Play-Doh
person,
and stuff.
you
It's
know,
just the
yeah.
same thing.
It's
It's
kind of
just
like,
mixing.
you throw tennis
let's
balls
go.
and people are kind of like, okay, yeah, that's annoying. Kind of like water guns, right? You get in a water gun fight and you're like, oh, stop. But at a certain point, you're like, whatever. And then you start aiming for the eyes because you're
Right,
like, this
right.
has to be effective again.
Right, yeah, you got to do some
for the tennis
damage out
ball.
there. So
I
anyways,
remember
the
dipping
tennis-
it in the poop and holding it up and like, you know, I'm kind of
gonna
chasing you
get
down
ya.
a little bit. And I was like, Jason, I think there's some poop on this thing. And then that became a line. It was like, Jason,
don't even
Yeah,
know how it
Spencer
became a
would-
thing.
there's some poop on
taunt.
this thing. Yeah, I would taunt
And,
you.
uh,
But you did something
pursue
wrong
you.
to
You'd
me
be in hot
because do you
pursuit.
remember what Jason did to me when he threw the ball at me and I rage quit? You remember this?
Yeah. So this was one of the first times that we all hung out as a trio, and we were hanging outside of the junior high. He was doing something that you didn't like. He was annoying you, and I could see it in your face. You had the vein like popping out or whatever, and you were
There we go.
holding it in, and I was like, "It's gonna happen." And Spencer kept on like, I don't even
Instigating,
know
man.
what
I was just
I don't even know what
instigating.
you're doing. I think you were just doing something that he didn't like. I don't know. And so then finally, Jason, you blew a gasket and you grabbed the tennis ball and you hucked it at his gut so hard. Totally caught Spencer by surprise. He's like, "Oh!" Like shocked and appalled that somebody would attack.
That's
you know?
right. There wasn't
And
even
then-
poop on that thing.
Luckily, it was poopless.
Yeah. I mean, these millennials, they do not appreciate a good poop joke.
Then Spencer just rage quit and then left. You know what? I'm out.
I'm out, man.
You're what? Leaving? But why? What did I do?
Going to my
be
dad's
disrespectful.
classroom.
Yeah, I'm going to my dad's
And
classroom.
then later, he goes to his dad's classroom to debrief. And then the next day, we hung out again as if nothing's up. But Spencer addressed, the elephant in the graveyard. And and he was like, just so you know, my dad told me that if you ever do that again, that I could hit you.
I can punch you.
So, be careful.
Yeah. Let's talk about junior high science camp, Jason, because this is a whole nother debacle, and
yeah.
I want to hear a little bit about your perspective on that situation.
Yeah, I got stuck in a cabin. Sorry, all the people that were in my cabin, but I kind of hated all of you. Shots fired. Except for like two of you. So that was interesting.
You know who you are.
My dad was also our cabin leader. Did not hate
Was
him
he one
for
of the
this.
two?
No.
Okay.
It was this weird time where we were in 8th grade at this time,
yeah.
right? And yet for some reason at this science camp, they were treating us like we were a bunch of 5-year-olds,
Oh, line up before you can get your food. Everyone has to be quiet. Oh, make sure you're always with the chaperone, or I don't know.
There was just so many rules. And my dad, right?
Jason's getting fed up and
he
fed up.
well, I
That
can be
vein's
okay with
popping
it.
out.
But my
vein.
dad, he's got some issues with that too, where he's just like, this is stupid. I don't want to take orders from you. Like, who are you to be telling me what to do? Like, I'm a grown man that's supposed to be supervising these kids. Like, I want to go eat. Let's just cut this. And so things started to get a little bit more of like, let's kind of upset this authority a little bit, right?
Way.
So we start like kind of doing stuff, you know, like stealing the signs from the cabins. And all of a sudden the counselors, they were like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. These people are doing crazy things. This is getting kind of...
This is vandalism.
This is getting out of hand.
This is getting out of hand.
Right, exactly. And yeah. And so then we got to this point where Owen and Luke, there was some beef between them and like Tanner and Kevin. They were kind of like playing pranks on each other. And my dad's like, whatever, this is cool. Let boys be boys. And then the turning point, though, was...
Warning, entering graphic territory in 3, 2, 1.
They went into like our cabin when we were gone and they spat. I think it was... They like spat all over Tanner's pillowcase. And my dad was like, no. You can like mess with someone, but
you can't
spit
spit
on
all
the
over
pillowcase.
pillowcase.
Like, what the?
That's too
What is
far.
wrong with you?
How dare you?
And so he's now in it, and he's like, all right, we're going to devise a plan to get them back. And they're like, no, we're just going to go like beat them up and like vandalize. And they're like, no.
No, your
we gotta
dad's
be
the
smart about
airline
this.
pilot. He's
Right?
like...
He's like, we're going to organize a raid. And he's like, we got to strike before
dawn because they'll still be asleep.
Like, whoa.
I did not
okay.
realize your dad organized this. I thought he was just permissing this.
He
Permissing
helped
it?
give ideas,
Promiscuous.
right? It all came together with this like morning raid. While they're all still asleep, we're going to sneak into the cabin. We're going to take these trash cans, fill them full of water, and then we're going to wake them up by dumping ice cold water all over them. And this is the last day of camp, right? Because he's like, we're not going to do something to get sent home. We don't want to piss off your parents by having them have to come pick you up. But this is the last day. So if we hold off till this, what's the worst they can do? Send us home? We're going home anyway.
That is really smart. I didn't
so
realize
good.
you guys kind of waited and planned it like
it
that.
was...
Dang.
Yeah, that's right, man. Because we opened it up.
Patient dagger cuts deepest.
It was so good,
right?
What is that saying? I don't know. That's
So
good.
with
The patient,
the door,
penitent
like-
man will pass.
The penitent man.
Right?
The door like swung open into their cabin and they just go in, right? SEAL Team 6. Raid on Osama bin Laden style. And they're like, okay. And Kevin was pissed off. He was point man, like laser focused, like nothing can get in my way. Target located. I'm going in. And the best part was their, I don't know, chaperone, whatever, was Mr. Young, and he wakes up when the door opens, and all he does is he sees the buckets of water and he goes, don't get me. Like, I don't care that you're doing this, but don't you dare.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, then they get the buckets of water in. All hell breaks loose. The plan was, okay, we're going back to our cabin and we're barricading it. And so they all run back in, close the doors.
Yeah, and then that's when JJ had the plunger and broke the window,
No,
right?
not JJ.
Was
it
JJ
was,
in your cabin?
I thought it was Christian. What's it? Christian.
Deadlifts?
No.
Christian
Hangle.
Hangle.
Yeah. It was him.
Yeah, he broke the window. Well, that's the
With a
urban
plunger.
legend, dude. Because I had Owen and Dominic on, and Owen told his whole science camp story. And so far, like basically all these details are matching up,
Yeah.
you know. But like, I don't know if we'll ever know who broke the window with the
I
plunger.
thought it was
But there
Christian
was-
Hangle.
maybe
because he
or
got
JJ, I don't
suspended
know.
for it.
Well, Tanner got expelled.
Game over.
Yeah.
Tanner didn't get expelled. He got asked not to come back.
Well, that was because he was messing with like the classified.
no, because
there was stuff going on.
What is this recess? Way too tribal.
Tanner peed on Christian's swim trunks.
No, not
Owen.
Tanner.
Owen peed on the swim trunks.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Christian was a total bystander. He didn't take place in any of this. So it was like, that was total collateral damage of like,
Dang.
you've just got this guy who's watching it all go down and is like, why are they peeing on my swim trunks? No, yeah, that
He's
was
a totally
that was
innocent
crazy.
party here.
They're trying to like break down the door. They're trying all the windows. We're like holding it all down. All of a sudden, your cabin wakes up with like your
Yeah,
dad
but
as a
my dad
chaperone.
was
It's
like,
"What's
we are
going
not
on?"
going out there.
Yeah.
And we were insistent on not getting involved in the cabin wars.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm glad we didn't because
That
your
was
dad was
crazy.
like,
we will make
dude,
no
it was
entangling
crazy.
alliances.
It was crazy because they went through and interviewed every person one by one.
was
So
crazy.
everyone's having to give an account for what they had done, and it's Judgment Day. My dad literally said that in class in 8th grade. He's like, for some of you guys, today is Judgment Day.
Oh, man.
Bro. Oh, man. Jason, let's talk about getting into high school now and you redoing your first kiss. Yeah. Not many people get to redo their first kiss.
That's right.
So how did that go down?
Yeah, so as many first kisses start, it happened on the way.
It was a dark, stormy night.
All right, I've been dating this girl for a few months, and I'm like, all right, it's time.
Now it's time
for the first kiss. Right?
Lean in.
No.
Wait.
No.
Pull out!
So we're coming back from this church trip to like Santa Cruz, right? Weekend trip. You get to spend so much time together. Oh man, so great. And so we're sitting next to each other on the bus, and this whole time, actually, I had planned the kiss this entire trip, and things kept getting in the way. I was like, oh, it's going to be a sunset. Beach.
Premeditated.
Yeah, premeditated. Anyway,
manslaughter.
That's what I was going with. So, like, I'd been thinking about it the whole time. I was like, oh, man,
how am I going to do this?
Right.
I'm going to get this
opportunity.
done.
I tried so many times. Then friends would show up or whatever. And we're closing in on the church. And I'm like, I'm running out of time. And so eventually I'm just like, it's
on the
happen.
bus, right? It's on the bus.
And it's on the bus, you know, coming back from the youth group trip.
Jason didn't vandalize this one, thankfully.
Right. Yeah. Unless you count kissing on a church bus vandalizing. I don't know.
Vandalized her face.
Oh.
Yeah, you left your lipstick all over her, Jason.
So I don't know if I said like we should kiss. I don't remember the exact details of that, but I know that I went in for the kiss and we kissed, but it was just super light and not good
like
contact.
You kind of missed. Like you kind of missed.
It's
was
a rookie,
like,
you know. It's the first try, but it's like, I was just like, this is not
No
the
suction.
first kiss, right? Yeah, it was just like that was like a pet.
You didn't make the seal.
No. And so we like have the kiss and we're like, okay, and I'm like, you know, that wasn't that great. Let's try again.
You said that?
I don't know if it was those exact words, but essentially I was like,
you're like,
let's do that again.
Again.
And there we go.
More. So let's talk about Spirit Week. What is Spirit Week for the people that are less fortunate and don't know?
Oh, well, I mean, as you'd expect at a Christian school, you have to have a Spirit Week, you know, the Holy Spirit. This has nothing to do with
I'm not sure that is the origin of the terminology.
Okay. I mean, we're supposed to be full of spirit, right? Okay.
Anyway, we're supposed to be full of the spirit.
School spirit.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway.
But yeah, so you all come together. It's a big thing where like every day has a theme and all the classes are competing against each other. So it's kind of a camaraderie type thing. And it normally happens like in the spring?
Yeah, they would do like powder puff volleyball games where like the girls would play football and the guys would play volleyball. Ooh, you know, a lot of that.
Gender bender.
A lot of gender benders going on. Dude, I remember we won the volleyball game with the guys all 4 years, which tells you something about our class. Like our class was very athletic.
Super competitive.
We were super competitive. We were wild.
We were crazy. Yeah.
We were so crazy that, in fact, I got to slip this in here. We got to mention this.
Just a tip.
That after every grade we would pass, teachers would retire and quit the school. You know this, dude. Like Mrs. Linktack quit, the Fletchers quit, Mrs. Smee quit, Mrs. Butler quit, and then the founders of the school who have been there for like 80 years who no one thought would ever leave, as soon as we graduated, they quit. They quit too.
Right. That's enough.
So it's like that shows you just how terrible our class was. I mean, you heard about science camp. There's
terrible in good
tons
ways,
and tons of other stuff. I don't know. I mean, we got it together at the end there.
I think I still have PTSD from those prayer sessions.
Yeah,
I was just like, I can't stand any longer.
They're like, have their hands on you. So like 20 people's hands
Some
like
people
all
say
over you.
Other people say Lord, Father, God, Jesus, every other
word.
And you're like,
and you're just like, oh my.
I don't know. I think at this point, it's almost sacrilegious. Like,
right, yeah.
And yes, Father God, please just be with us as we encounter this endeavor, Father God. You're like, yo, you're praying for your pizza. This is probably something that you would probably cut out. But might be a little too raunch for the Spencer Whiteout podcast, but classified.
Like how Jordan thinks he's a psychopath because he's told himself over and over. And we're like, dude, you're not a psychopath. You just enjoy corn dogs and milk. It's fine.
Together? Does he dip what?
Yes, he's dipping.
That's what I said.
It's a dipping situation.
Yeah, do you...
He dips corn dogs
That
and
is,
milk?
of course, the logical question is... Are you?
Because I
Put it in?
could, I could enjoy a
Is
corn
it
dog
just
and
the
drink
tip?
a glass of milk,
Is
but
it-
like, is it soaking the corn dog? Like,
Dude, he soaks them and eats like 8. Just throws them down. No chewing. Just sucks it off the stick. I saw him. This might be slander. I'm totally making most of this up.
Okay, so we have to tell the truth about the corn dogs. It's not actually true.
This is the clickbait title.
Yeah, Jordan and corn dogs.
I'm finally coming
Psychopath
clean
eats corn dogs and
about
corn dogs and milk.
and milk.
Okay, so what is the corn dogs and milk? You know, Jordan plays rough. He insults you.
Yeah.
At one
Jordan
point, Luke,
plays
you were just
rough,
like, come
makes
on.
a lot of jokes at your expense, which I'm entirely on board with. But, you know, occasionally, like if you're not rolling with the punch as well, or if it's not quite as humorous as you'd like, sometimes it wears you a little bit thin. And so, anyways, one of these days, it wore me a little bit thin. I forget what joke he made about me, but I was like, that's it. And I was like, you know, I was like, you know what you look like? And I had been thinking about this because I was looking at his phosphorescent teeth. They're bright white, dude. And I was like, you fucking milk drinking, tall glass of milk drink. You probably drink these big, tall glasses of milk where the milk is like entirely on.
Yeah, it's like concave,
It's
like
so
bubbling
full.
all over.
It's so full that it's like spilling out, and you have to sip it from the top. That's how big of glasses of milk. And I'm like, you milk drinking son of a bitch. And you look like you drink big glasses of milk and eat just corn dogs.
At the end of a long day, that's how you decompress.
Yeah, you had a hard day, and then you sit on the couch and you eat so many corn dogs,
and you just eat them, and you eat so many that you don't even know why, and then afterward you just hate yourself, and you dip the corn dogs in the milk and eat them.
and I'm just like.
You
Going
just tear
off.
into him.
The vein was on me. The vein was on me this time, and I thought he was gonna be like,
What? Like, no way. Like, I totally had my calories dialed in. I would never.
and he had the best response. He was just like, I just hate how accurate that is.
So let's get back to Spirit Week
All right.
and the Jonathan Nootbaar fight. And at Spirit Week, you know, we dress up as different things. We have face paint. Our colors are blue and white. So you had war paint on. You had blue and white face paint. I always thought that was so
Inspired by
cool, man.
Braveheart.
You would go hard at Spirit
That's
Week.
right.
You
I
know?
was like, I am a Celt. I'm going full throttle. This is warrior time.
yeah,
go.
and the best outfit that you had was the killer clown from outer space
right.
costume. And you had a huge bow tie that smelled like piss.
Dude, that entire...
It actually did.
It was just
Did you pee
rough
on it?
overall. I thought it would just look creepy, which it definitely did. I found this creepy clown mask at like Goodwill or something. I was like, this is perfect. Got to incorporate this.
Yep. Spent a lot of time at Goodwill.
Dug through these like costume boxes in my house and found this bow tie. For some reason, smelled like dog piss. It was dog. Just to clarify.
Right.
It smelled bad, but I couldn't smell that because that clown mask that I bought, I don't know. Somebody was into wearing clown masks and smoking 5 packs a day because that thing reeked of cigarette smoke. It was so bad. I soaked that thing in like vinegar and water for like a day before I wore it to try and get rid of that. Nothing. The whole day I was just like, well, I have cancer from this. Like it was just, it was so bad. I had like a head high from it. Was, I hated it. It was worth
You
it for the
walked up to your
costume.
buddies, you're like, you want a hit of this mask?
Put on this
hit of
mask.
this mask. During one of these Spirit Weeks, it was this thing where I started to bring my camera to school around high school and junior high. I was starting to film everything. I was getting into film, you know, and Spirit Week was the time to bring your camera. So Christian
Absolutely.
Blake brought his camera, you brought your camera, and we would just kind of film things.
Well, I guess it was 2012, 10, whatever. But like, so not, digital cameras are new, but like enough
like the fact that we had them. Yeah,
Right,
that
'cause
was
it was
a big
like,
deal.
oh, my parents have them, but they're cheap enough that they don't care if I take this. And like, there's so much storage that I can just fill it with all these stupid pictures.
Yeah, and so during PE would always be super chill, and the instructor would be like, oh, you just kind of do whatever, you know, because it's Spirit Week, you know, it's fun. And everything was like a light homework week, and it was fun. It was amazing.
Right.
And then Jason, I guess, was filming Nootbaar. Nootbaar says some inappropriate joke.
I don't even remember.
I remember it because I have the footage. I still have the footage. He says an inappropriate joke. Jason catches it on film. We're like, oh, we just got you on tape saying you're into
porno.
Wow. Oh, we got you on tape saying you're
I know.
whatever.
Oh, that is what it is.
Dude. And then he goes,
And Jason goes, all women are queens.
Nootbaar was like, oh, do you remember we would do that all the time?
Yeah,
We would say it back,
I think you were into porn.
and then he goes, give me that, and just grabs the camera.
Yeah.
And then what? And then you take over.
Yeah, it was like this fake laugh diversion as he gets in position for the strike. And he's like, give me that camera. And he reaches for the camera. And
grabs it. Camera goes black. You have the footage. Camera, the hand comes over. Camera goes black, and you just hear, "Get your hands off my camera!"
Right, because I'm like, ew, this isn't even my camera. This is my parents, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, if this
Get your hands
breaks,
off my mom's camera.
So then I just go at him, right, and we're just kind of like wrestling for it, and
pretzeling around,
whatever. Yeah, it's limbs flying.
He had his leg wrapped around you.
He's got him in a leg lock, and
eventually, I know that I ended up with him in a headlock. I thought, right?
Yeah, that was
and I was
epic.
just like,
and at
had him
that
in
point
this
too,
tight
I was
headlock
like,
and-
I was yelling at Christian, record it, because I didn't have my camera at that second or whatever, or my batteries are dead or something. And so I'm yelling at Christian. Christian's like rifling through the settings, trying to like get it to the video setting and
the
film. And
ISO
I'm like, dude,
right.
you're missing half the fight, man. Like, get it.
Record it. Are you going? Go. Oh, my camera. Go.
Let go.
Spencer has always been the paparazzi.
Yeah, I'm like, film that, record that. And so we
Your
film
job
it.
depends on it. You're fired if you don't catch this.
And I'm just like, this camera's gonna break, and I'm like, I have you in the sleeper hold. Don't make me do this.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
Get him. Yo. Yeah, get him.
Let go of my camera.
Let go of it. He's down.
I'll break it if you don't believe it.
Let go of my camera. You want to break it? Go ahead. I could use a new camera.
I'm going to break it unless you delete it.
I'd like to see you break it. What are you doing?
Oh, get him.
Let go of it.
Let go of it now. Dude, he's got you. Let go of it. Let go of it.
He took my camera. I won't give it up.
He's still going. Still go. Ding, ding. Dude, Buster just won.
Buster just failed.
No, he
What
just
kind
won.
of a choking thing is that? Weren't even using your bicep.
Don't act like you weren't enjoying it, Jason.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how I've always been. It's
And
like,
you flipped him at
Yeah,
one
just give me
point.
an
You guys
excuse.
like flipped. I was so stoked because I was like,
Everything for the video.
I was like, I'm gonna get this footage and I'm gonna put it in our skate video
dude, this is
because
good
Jason was a stunt
content.
man. Jason was a stunt man for my crew because I was like, I love
bacon.
Jason, bulletproof bacon. And I was like, I need to get Jason and Luke in my videos, so I would have Jason be my quote stunt man. So the fact that this fight goes down, I'm like, dude, like this is quality footage. Like this is going in for sure. The fight goes down, and I remember at the end, we're walking back in to class, and Nootbaar says, I will have my revenge. He said that, and I'm like, I still sometimes think about that to this day. I'm like, I kind of wonder, like, how long he's going to wait, like,
Maybe.
for that. Because, like,
maybe
you don't
it
know.
hasn't
Like,
come yet.
yeah.
like, he might slay your firstborn.
I really did get the impression he never fully forgave me for that. Because, like, I'd hang out with him after that, at school or whatever. And it was like, there was always just this little bit of reservation in him. I'm like, oh, it's because
You're
of
just
that
kind of
one
looking
time.
over your shoulder, wondering, like, dang it, like, when's he going to take revenge? Like, that is the best revenge. Telling someone, I will have revenge on you, and then you never do it. And they just have to live with that for the rest of their life, thinking, like, I'm scared of the dark.
You don't seem psychologically shattered by that.
I don't think so. No.
No, I
Yeah.
think you gave him the wisdom of a man.
Wisdom.
That's a Napoleon
It's an
Dynamite
apple lady.
reference for anybody that
Poor
doesn't
lady.
know, for the less fortunate.
Come down today for your free trial lesson.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating/review. 5 stars is a power play. Be sure to follow the show and keep up with me on social medias at Spencer Whiteout to stay up to date. As always, stay tuned, stay hyped. That's a wrap.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
Okay. I just heard it.
Who's gonna tell Fecal Shoulder?
Alright,
You know about Fecal Shoulder?
So,
Dude, you might.
alright, so me and Spencer we're going to a metal concert. And we go to
Oh, I have heard this.
Someone told me this one. Okay, keep going.
Dude, people are passing down our story.
Wow.
It was told on set.
We're gonna have to patent this stuff. Okay, so we're going to a metal concert, and we go to this place, and it's a ratchet place. The name of the venue is called Ace of Spades, but it's so gross that I call it Space of Spades.
That's good.
So it's a metal concert, everybody, and there's a ton of people. There's some like really big bands, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so the thing's packed. It's an indoor location. Everybody's like chest to back, chest to chest. Everybody's touching each other, bumper to bumper traffic, pretty much.
I love your
The bands come on. Everybody's wilding out. It's a metal concert, right? So there's crowd surfing, there's moshing. People are like clocking each other in the face and stuff. It's amazing. So everybody's helping each other out. Because when you crowd surfing, you gotta ask for help. You gotta recruit other people to actually get you at that altitude, and then you can coast. So this guy comes up to me, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I'm so excited! This is my first metal concert, and I gotta get up there. Like, are you gonna help me or not?" And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, "Dude, you're like 3 times my size." He's a big guy. He's a big fella. And I'm like, you know what? It's your first concert. I'm gonna help you out. I'll do my best. So I offer him a knee. I let him climb up. And he's having some trouble climbing up. And he's like clamoring, and he's like, we're all pretzeled together. He's climbing on top of me and stuff, and trying to get over me.
What does this guy look like? What's he wearing? What's happening there?
Okay, yeah, so good point. So he's kind of bumming out. He's just got like a t-shirt or a tank top or something, and he's got these basketball shorts. Very porous basketball shorts. So he's climbing on top.
I feel like this is going to become relevant.
It's just a detail. I'll leave it out, right? Okay. So he's climbing on top of me. Limbs are being, mixed up. And so he finally gets to proper altitude, to cruising altitude. And he's like, let me fly, And so we let him fly, and he coasts for a little bit, changes hands a couple of times, and he's crowd surfing. Eventually, I have no idea. It was out of my hands at that point. I think he may have died. I don't know. Yeah, it definitely fell at some point. But so we finished up the concert. We get in the car, and I'm like, bro, something smells so bad in this car. And I'm with Spencer, and I'm with, who else was there?
Jason.
So it was me, Spencer, and Jason. We get in the car, and I'm like, bro, something smells terrible in this car. One of you guys need to go check your pants, because it smells terrible. And we're like, okay, yeah, let's do a pit stop before we go home. Let's go to Walmart, and we can kind of bathe in the Walmart bathroom. So we go to the Walmart bathroom, and we're washing. So we're bathing in the Walmart vanity, and I take my shirt off. And I'm sniffing the shoulder, and I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like, I do not remember how this could happen.
And then
so I'm like, Spencer, Jason, help me out here. Take a whiff of this, And they're like, dude, that smells like something evil. So I'm racking my brain. I'm like, what happened, bro? The only thing that could have happened was that guy when he was climbing on top of me. Maybe at some point the undercarriage may have grazed my shoulder. And it's
there was remains,
now.
Dude. Was there really? Just a little bit.
It's definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
It was there. I had to burn that shirt.
I had to burn that. Yeah.
See, that joke almost became the one we filmed today in the podcast studio. There's already enough poop jokes in the movie, so we did the submarine and stuff.
Yeah, I think we hit our quota.
Is
that it?
Yes. And that's it.